Hello Earth, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mars Manson and today we are going to be reading another creepy encounter story off of Reddit, Let's Not Meet. Today's story is called Someone Always Rings My Doorbell at Exactly 11:05 p.m. by Azalea. I am so sorry if I did not say the username correctly, but let's go ahead and get into it. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure if this story belongs on this Reddit, seeing as I've never actually met this person, but I have no other subreddit that I know of where this could fit better. Since almost a year now, end of 2019 of August to be exact, I have moved to an apartment in a different city because my mother, who I lived with in my hometown, passed away from cancer. I have moved here with my long-term boyfriend and one other roommate who has been a good friend to both of us since before we had even started dating. We all absolutely love it here. The location is great. It's a 15-minute bike ride from my university, and it's located at the square with a grocery store, drugstore, lunchrooms, etc. So we pretty much have everything we could ever possibly need to survive within walking distance. However, after just a month or two of living here, someone has started to ring my doorbell at exactly 11:05 p.m. semi-regularly. Sometimes every day, sometimes every other day, sometimes there's a week in between, and sometimes there's a couple of weeks in between. But it is always at 11:05 p.m. And every single time, I get no answer each time I ask through the intercom who it is. Well, except for one time, but I'll get into that in a bit. At first, I thought it was friends from one of the neighbors who accidentally rang the wrong doorbell. But after around the fourth time, I grew suspicious. And after more than those 4 times, I started noticing that it always happens at either exactly 11:05 p.m. or a few minutes earlier or later. My boyfriend and roommate both work at bars, so they work until very late and would only usually get home around 2 a.m. So each time it happened, I was always alone at home, and it really started to freak me out after a while. When I first told them about it, they kind of shrugged it off and said that it was probably a wrong dial, like I thought at first. But when I told them that it happened so many times, and sometimes even daily, they didn't really believe me and thought that I was just paranoid and spooked. However, one night when the doorbell rang again and I answered the intercom asking who it was, I heard very heavy breathing. I was thoroughly spooked at that moment. I was again home alone and kept asking who they were and what they wanted. I couldn't make up from the breathing if it was a man or a woman, but I heard a strange mumbling/whispering, and then it was dead silent. And they had appeared to have left. I'd put my apartment door on the double lock after that. I was so scared and spooked that night. Thankfully, my roommate got home a little earlier, around 30 minutes after the doorbell rang, and he could tell how upset I was. Now with the corona crisis, my roommate and boyfriend aren't able to work anymore, and they now have also witnessed the frequent door ringing at 11:05 p.m. So they now do believe me and agree that it is very odd and creepy. We have a balcony that looks down at where our apartment building's main front door is. But because there's also a shop right underneath us that has always because there's a shop right underneath us that always has those curtains/roof things out, the view to the door is partially obscured. Every time our doorbell rang, me, my boyfriend, and my roommate would go to the balcony to see if we could see anyone, but we never could. I have also asked my neighbors from my apartment building if their doorbell also gets rang so often, but the ones that I have asked all said that it's never happened to them. So 2 weeks ago, my roommate decided to do some investigating and went outside our apartment building at 11 p.m., standing across the street and pretending to have a smoke while keeping an eye on the door. He said he did see a man who looked kind of suspicious wandering around our apartment building, who slowed down his pace significantly as soon as he approached our door. But when he spotted my roommate looking at him, he quickly walked away. We aren't 100% sure if that's the door ringer, but that was very, very suspicious. Our doorbell hasn't been rang at night since that day, and I am hoping that maybe it will stop now. But there is a possibility that it'll continue again in a few weeks. So, strange man who rings my doorbell at 11:05 at night so often, please stop and let's never meet. I hope that you guys enjoyed this week's creepy encounter story off of Reddit Let's Not Meet. Remember, all of the author's information is linked down below. Definitely make sure that you go and show them all of the spooky family love for allowing me to narrate their stories. I will see you guys in the next video, and remember, stay spooky.